Hi, and welcome back to Ask Your Guides Friday. I'm Ruta,
And I'm Edie.
and today we're doing a reading for March the 9th. And we're going to be asking the question that some of you have been reaching out and asking. And so, the question we're going to be asking from the guides for some guidance is in regards to the pain of the world that we are as individuals tapping into, and we're feeling, and we think that it's ours, yet what we're feeling is the world's pain. And so the question would be, how do we transmute that pain and make it into light and move forward with that?
So today we have the Solitude card. We have the Imagination card in reverse. We have the Deceit card in reverse. And we have Risk card as the overall theme. So I'm feeling that at this time, going inward, having some solitude, understanding of the self and connection with the higher self. Many people are starting to connect in, and there's a lot of, I feel, imagination that has limited the energy of the inner child for individuals. So there seems to be a lot of deceit that has come in from outside sources, fooling you into believing that this pain is your pain. So some pain that you're feeling is mostly not your pain. I feel it is the pain of the collective consciousness. And the way to separate yourself from that is to connect in with the higher self, to understand who you are. When you begin to understand, to knowing yourself, that is when solitude and introspection is really healthy. And it feels like it's a really risky behavior to do this, to really touch in, because a lot of people are not used to trusting themselves. So it feels like the joy guides, which is interesting, we're asking to be released from pain. The way to do this in general is to tap into the energy of joy. And it's risky to let go of those old patterns and how we see the world and what is being fed to us. So, I mean, there are angelic energies out there, and they seem to be very old angels. And these cherubim angels, I feel, are like guardian angels of joy, and they are sprinkling down energy upon you. And soon as you take that step to let go and jump and go to release into that joy and take that risk, they are there to make sure that you're there to be caught, and that you are able to lift up that pain body and release it. And I don't even know if releasing it is the word. It's more having an awareness of what is there within the pain body, and however that is experienced towards you. Maybe it's something you're watching on the news that is giving you some fear, or even like, what is going on with our human race? There seems to be a lot of people saying, oh, everything's okay, and it's not okay. When there's no more lies being able to be told to people. You see through what's actually happening right now, and that creates the pain body. And we feel for other human beings. We want to feel. We're feeling, what other people are going through, and it's painful and it's difficult to go through it. But when we understand the connection with the higher self, we understand what is ours and what is not, and we can ask for blessings for other people to be, aware of what is happening within their pain body, so that they're not causing other people pain, and that they're not contributing to more pain in the world, that they're sort of taking responsibility for themselves and saying, okay, I'm going to not be in pain. I'm not going to think this way. I'm going to think in a more positive light, to bring in more light on the planet. And this is what these joy guides are asking you to do today, is to take that risk and to really use your imagination for the good, to bring out the inner child, not to turn away from that. Play, have fun, maybe play with a child. I see some of you growing and who don't usually play with children, but you're going to play like a little child's game. Like I actually see one of you playing Jenga with your kids, and that seems to bring in this little bit of joy. And the lie you've told yourself is you don't have time to spend time with your children to have that joy, but in fact, the exact opposite is what the reality is. So you take the time to cut off the deceit and go, no, I'm going to risk this, I'm going to do this, and then you have the joy come in and it feeds you. It doesn't drain you. And then you can go on to more creative energies in another day. Mm-hmm. And you have a rest from all of that pain, and you're creating joy. The best way I know how to create joy is to hang around children, because they sure bring you a little bit of like joy, you know. Or be with a loved one, love yourself, be good to yourself.
Yeah, as much as we sometimes believe that, you know, oh, well, there's so much stuff, heavy stuff out there that it's happening, that we sometimes begin to feel guilty for giving ourselves that space, creating that space of where we can feel happy and joyful. It's, quite frankly, it's an illusion that's been put out there for us to pick up on, and it's a mind's game. It's not the case, because what happens is, it's like, you know, the whole world is, we are a big organism, and every human being on earth is a part of that cell, a part of that big organism. And so when there's a groups of people that are hurting, then because in our human nature, we do feel that pain of those cells, of those other human beings. And so the best thing that we can do is, of course, there's people that say send prayers, but empty prayers, like, as much as we can be, you know, like, wanting to do that, prayers don't come from our mind, they come from the heart. And how to send those intentions and be that light and be those sparks of joy for those other cells to pick up on, and, you know, to send into that collective consciousness. That light is to retrieve for a little bit and tap into that silence within, and tap into that joy, you know, like play with children, watch them, and through the action of that, not through thinking about it, but through the actions of actually birthing that light, you will be able to transmute that energy of pain for the collective consciousness that's feeling it.
And the solitude piece of this is important as well. You have to have time for yourself in order to feed others. So there's both, and both have to happen today. And you have the support of the guardian angels. They're not going to let you fool yourself anymore. You're the one that's going to pull down the mask. You're the one that's going to take responsibility and go, oh no, I'm doing this. I don't care I don't care about this, because I'm looking at this pain body for what it is. And when you recognize it for what it is, it's all it wants is an unruly child wants a little bit of attention. So you go, okay, I see you, I get it now. And then you can transmute that into a productive energy, which is maybe possibly, I feel the pain, rather than judging somebody who does some horrific action in the world. We can take that energy and pray for all of the suffering that is happening in that area, for all the families, for all of the people that are feeling the pain of those families, and for the people who are going through difficult times. When you're coming from a place of solitude in your heart, then those prayers will bring peace to those people, and the guardian angels of those people will remove the mask of the fact that they think nobody cares. And so we will send love to those people, and they will feel it. And we do that by tapping into our inner child. And it is also, it is a fearful thing to do, to put your faith into something, and your belief into something, and your knowing into something that is untangible, untouchable, but yet we know that it helps the world. This is the idea of light work. This is what we want to do for other people. The ascended masters, the guides of this world, the collective consciousness of the Holy Spirit coming down to humans to bring light so that we can transmute energy from negative to positive is what we do as humans. And that is our responsibility to change it, because it's our thinking that got us there in the first place. There may have been some outside influence, but this really helps us look at how we are viewing things through our perspective, where our perspective is not from the same perspective of our higher self's perspective, from the God self perspective. We need to turn our imagination around and to pull in that God or goddess energy. And that's the perspective we need to look from, not the skewed, maybe, perceptions from living through life experiences. So to place yourself aside a little bit, the ego aside a little bit, and tap into the higher self and pull in that goddess or God energy, and really tap into the goodness of humans and send that to people who are suffering to lighten their load. So that seems to be the messages from the guides today, and we hope that those of you who are tuning into this, if you have questions, that you will reach out to us, and hopefully we can help you through some difficult times. Please do that, and we hope that it alleviates and lets people know that you're not alone. So namaste, and it is good to be here today with you.
Have a wonderful, transmuting, light, delightful day. I'll see you tomorrow.